What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Let's get it. Good morning. Go ahead and hop right into this dang-a-lang-lang. Good morning. Yep, Hannah's here, I think. She was traveling earlier in the week, so she should be here in a moment. Yeah, she's here. She's probably just getting ready. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Hannah, if you're here.
Hey, good morning.
Happy Friday. Let's get it, y'all. Happy Friday. First and foremost, I do not know if non-farm payrolls came out. I don't think so, because they took it off the docket. So I'm assuming the government's still shut down, and non-farm payrolls did not come out, obviously. That was a big data point for the day. I mean, government's obviously still shut down, so we're not gonna have that data point until the government opens back up, excuse me. But yeah, man, we're here. Happy Friday. Let's go ahead and get prepared for the day. I'm gonna go over future side of things, go over a couple individual names, and Hannah will go over SPY and QQQ and what she's watching today. Likely will align, but we could be watching a few different things. Hope everybody had a great week so far, and let's close it out with a strong Friday, man. Here we are. Can everybody see clear? Everybody can hear clear? Everybody's good to go before we get started here? Everybody's good? Good. Let me make sure everybody has the correct Thank you. Alrighty. Should be good. Go ahead and fix that. Alrighty. We are good to go. First things first here. Let's go ahead and talk about NQ. Let's talk about NQ. Let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about what happened overnight. Let's talk about gold. Absolutely insane, man. Made like $100 and something move yesterday, which is just absolutely absurd. I wish I could have said I caught something, but unfortunately I didn't. But here we are. We have NQ here. I mean, there's nothing really else to say about this chart than, we're bullish, right? Like, sure, we catch a little pullback here, pullback there. This daily chart to me looks like it wants to blow the top off, right? We've seen the same theme here: red, green, green, red, green, red. This daily setup specifically right here is a 3-bar setup on the daily, right? So this is a very, very high probability setup. We have obviously the breakout, previous all-time highs. We have that inside bar, well, the pulse bar in between. So if we get above today's highs, we're likely going to squeeze much higher, okay? And conversely, if we fail that previous day's low, there can be opportunity there as well. But this is a very bullish daily chart. And most importantly, it's a bullish hourly chart, right? We're continuing to maintain these higher lows here throughout this hourly time frame. Demand is being held. New higher lows are being set continuously. This is a very bullish chart. Now, if you notice here, we are holding that previous all-time high resistance, which yesterday we broke, right? That was the bearish scenario yesterday. We were back below that previous all-time high resistance, but now look where we're at. We essentially just failed, trapped those shorts, reclaimed, retested, and this is usually when a big move comes into play. So what we're watching today is we're watching number one, all-time highs here, which is 25,400. Number two, we're watching 25,250. Same level we were watching yesterday, right? Because we know here, if we can get below that 25,250, we're very likely to come back down and test that low, at least again, right? So today's session, my focus is going to be on one, a pullback here. That's a higher risk pullback level, 25,250. 25,150 is the focus. Okay, those are the two pullback long levels that I'm watching. I think the highest probability trade today is letting this all-time high break, waiting for a pullback, and going long. I think that's the highest probability setup. Now, I'd like to keep you guys prepared, as always. There's a big supply up here. We can all see that. If off the open, we wick into that 25,400, fail, get back below 25,350, and start to get weak, lose that 25,250, we're going to see sustained downside, okay? Because that would officially break this uptrend. That would take out that previous higher low, and we'll likely work down into this previous higher low here, okay? So that's the levels that we need to watch today on NQ. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the nature of this chart, right? This is an uptrend that we've held for some time. So if we take it out, we're going to see some downside, right? I mean, we've held this pretty relentlessly over the past, month or two. So that's what I'm watching there on NQ. ES, I mean, I would say this is a totally different chart, right? This is a totally different chart. This is the start, or could be the start of something bigger, right? We have, obviously here, what I like to call a little rounding top, right? Where you have a high, higher high, higher high, the highest point. And now we're starting to form lower highs. So we're starting to, there's actually a technical name for this, which is a descending scallop, right? I like to call it curling, but we're starting to see that here on ES. So there's a divergence here between ES and NQ, okay? Now, does this mean that it's bearish? No, it does not mean it's bearish. We're still making higher lows and this uptrend is still intact, but we're getting those early indications. And most importantly, we had this previous all-time high resistance, which we attempted to go higher here, made a new high, and then formed multiple lower highs here. And then yesterday's session, we broke this major structure, which got us that downside move. And what do we do overnight? Tested that structure, downside. We're back inside of that structure right now. So if we fail here, guess what we're going to do? We're going to come lower, right? So the top short watch today on ES is going to be the 6,800, 67.95, right? This is a beautiful failure to go higher, break and retest setup. So if we need shorts today, we want to watch for this failure in this area for that move lower, right? The safest way to trade this would be waiting for obviously the rejection here and then the break and hold below that previous higher low. That'll get us down into this demand, and this is the almighty level moving forward. If we're above 67.45, 67.55, technically that's bullish. But if we lose this, that is where the real sustained downside can come in, okay? So the big levels today to watch on ES is going to be that 67.55, 6,800, and then obviously those all-time highs, okay? This chart is a totally different chart than NQ, right? Totally different chart. If we look at NQ, this is more bullish than anything, right? But if you notice, we're also getting that same kind of curl here, right? We're continuously making lower highs. So if we form a next lower high here and we start to get weak and break that 25,250, guess what? We're going to see that downside move, okay? Based off this chart, I would focus on ES, right? If the market does get weak today, I would focus on ES because of the chart structure. I think this would be the first one to go, right? I think NQ has that relative strength over it, but obviously that can flip. That's what I would watch today, okay? This chart is very tricky. Very, very tricky. ES is a little bit more defined. RTY, a little bit more defined, right? We have high, attempt to go higher, failure, lower high, lower high, lower high. Another lower high here below that 2,500. So if you want to trade RTY today, it's essentially going to be the same game plan, right? You're looking for that lower high below 2,500. We get below 2,470. That's where that real sustained downside comes in. Your bullish scenario here is we break out of this downtrend, get back above 2,500, and we squeeze into new all-time highs. That's your game plan there. YM. My golly. Are we not looking at this chart? This is a totally different chart, okay? A totally different chart than everything we just discussed, right? Uptrend is broken, right? There's nothing where there's no second guessing here, right? We know what's going on here. The uptrend is broken. We have an all-time high. We have a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and a massive breakdown yesterday's session. This is now in a downtrend. We have a lower low, and we have a lower high. This is a totally different chart than here, here, or here. So what's going on here? Is YM going to reclaim? Are the other names going to flip weak? So this is the true name that we want to focus on in terms of relative weakness because of this chart structure. If we're below 46,700, 46,750 today, this chart is geared for lower. This is the number one short watch today. What has happened the last time we were in this area? We got to move down into 46,300. We got to move down to 46,100, right? First target would obviously be this low, but this would be the top short watch today. We push back in this 46,700, 46,750. That's a beautiful break and retest of this structure after we had that beautiful breakdown yesterday. So this is the chart that you want to focus on, okay? Now, when you have a name like NQ that's relatively strong, if this reclaims, right, that's added confluence. If we get that confluence between indices, okay? I personally think, right, based off these charts right now, right, this is going to reclaim. The market's going to rip, right? I think this is going to play a big part in today's price action, right? So definitely keep an eye on this chart and ES. ES has that obvious big divergence. The strong name today is obviously NQ, right? We can all see that. This is the strongest chart compared to ES, compared to RTY, compared to YM in itself, right? So watch for that reclaim. That'll give confluence across the board, and that's what I would watch today. Gold, I do want to give some focus here because we're starting to see our first pullback, right? And guess where we pulled back to yesterday, right? We had that all-time high, pushed right back into it, formed that double top, broke that structure, and yesterday on gold, we seen a freaking $120 move from highs, right? Where did we go? Right back down to this demand. So you can't be a horny bear here on gold yet, even though it does look great. And today's session, right, it's as simple as 4020, which is that previous support, which is now resistance, right? This is a classic bearish break and retest. We got the bearish reversal indication, which double top failed to go higher. We got that break of structure with a new lower low. We have a lower high. We just swept that previous lower high. So if you want to trade gold today, this is the setup you want to trade right now. Sweep that previous high, test that supply, get back below 4,000. If gold loses 4,000 today, that is your short setup targeting these lows with the stop loss above 4020. This is your A plus short today on gold. Okay, right here, what we're seeing. Swept that previous high, attempted to go higher, tested at supply, failed, lose 4,000. That's your A plus short setup. Your long setup here on gold would be hold 4,000, get back above 4020. That's when we likely fill that move from yesterday. But as long as we're below this supply here at 4020, watch for that move below 4,000. That's your A plus short setup. Okay. This is a chart that you really want to focus on. When I tell you, if we lose this 4,000, you're going to see what's going to happen. And if we lose it right now, this is a trade I would even take right now. We're going to get that nice downside move back into these lows. Okay. So watch this 4,000 level after sweeping that previous high, rejecting this supply. This is where that real downside is going to come in on gold. Okay. Outside of that, I'm not really watching anything else on the other future side besides oil. I mean, that's a huge break, but I don't really want to discuss this right now because I have no intentions of trading it, if I'm being honest. I'll go over a couple of individuals. I don't want to take up too much of Hannah's time. AMD sitting at new all-time highs here. 244 is that new all-time high. Previous all-time high being 227. Previous structure being 220. Perfect bull flag forming here pre-market. So what we want to watch on AMD is that 225, 220 bounce for longs, or if we get above that 244, that's where we're watching for that continued upside into 250. Nvidia, I mean, this chart is clear as day. Held 184, broke 190. 190 is that new structure. We're looking for a pullback into 189, 190. That's our area to go long. I think ultimately Nvidia wants to get up into these 200s before anything else. Okay, so long as Nvidia is still above 189, 190, this chart is a chart worthy of being long on. If we lose that 189, 190, that is where we likely see lower. Coin, same watch we've been having all week. 392, this is that daily resistance. If we can get above it, we should get that move back into 400 plus. Okay, so this is a great watch for a Friday, especially if we can get that breakout. We know coin loves to make those moves. Tesla, I mean, this is a chart you just got to stay away from, right? Tesla might make a big move, it might not, I don't know, right? But this is not a chart that has clarity, right? We have obviously a high, we have a low. Tesla sitting dead in the middle of this range. So what I would watch on Tesla is essentially this demand, this supply, we break out, we reject, we bounce. There could be opportunity. I have no interest in this chart. Microsoft, we're kind of starting to see a shift here, right? We have that rejection, we have that lower high. Here we are after breaking that previous structure. We made a new low. So there's a great chance that Microsoft does come down and take out that low again. So Microsoft today, you want to watch that 526 and you want to watch that 518. If we make that lower high below 526, break yesterday's low, this is going to go lower, okay? And conversely, if we get back above that 526, this is going to go higher. So there's some clean levels today, but today is obviously going to be a game of patience for sure, right? Today's going to be a big game of patience because obviously, look, right? What did I talk about already with NQ? We're already starting to see that curl over. Same thing I talked about with ES, right? We're already starting to see that here pre-markets where we got that failure below that supply. This is that new lower high. So if we come down here and we take out these lows, this is the A plus short setup today, right? You do not want to be long ES below the 6,800. This is a chart that looks like it wants to go lower. Same thing I discussed with YM. This is your short opportunity here on YM, right? Right here, right now. If this hourly close weak, go short. Keep a stop above this candle's high and hold, right? Hold for this hourly low. Hold for this bigger level down here at 46,200. This is the short setup that we're seeing this morning on YM, right? We're seeing those other names starting to roll over. I mean, this is probably the highest probability short setup I've seen if we can get that rejection, right? Like this is an A plus setup across the board here on YM. And those other markets, right, being NQ, ES, and RTY, they're starting to match, right? They're starting to match. We have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, massive bearish engulfing here. If we break this structure here at 25,250, we're going back down into yesterday's low. That's inevitable, right? So watch these levels, guys. We're already starting this. We're already starting to see this piece together, right? We're already starting to see this short setup piece together. I think this is a setup worthy trading into the open. I mean, look at RTY, for example. Every single one of these charts is on the same page right now. Every single one of them, right? NQ, we got the rejection. ES, we got the rejection below that supply. That's what we want to see. RTY, we got the rejection below that supply. That's what we want to see. YM, we got the rejection below that supply. This is the cleanest chart because of this chart structure, but we're getting all of that right now, right? And Hannah's going to go over SPY, but I just want to talk about something briefly. This was at previous all-time highs, right? This is a failure to go higher. This is clean, clear, precise. Previous all-time highs. We attempted to make a new all-time high. We failed, got back below it, and we're retesting as resistance. This is the short setup today. If we're below 673, 672, this is where I want to be short, right here, okay? Long as we're below 673, this is where I'm watching the short SPY for a move back down into this demand, right? What we're seeing right now, right here, right now. Same thing I discussed on NQ, ES, RTY, and YM. I think these charts are geared for lower unless those levels are reclaimed, okay? It is that simple for today, right? It is that simple for today. Outside of that, that's pretty much what I'm watching today. Be cautious today, guys, right? We're really starting to see a shift here, right? Specifically on ES, right? This is clear as day. There's no questioning what's going on here, right? This is huge. Even gold, right? This is the short setup. Everything this morning. It's setting up right now, right here, right? If we get this weak closure on gold, this is your short opportunity today, right here, right now. Wicked above that previous supply, tested at 40.20, back below 4,000. This is your A plus short setup today, right here, right now, right? NQ, we lose this 25,250. That is your A plus short setup today, okay? ES, same thing, right? These are charts that want to go lower right now, okay? So keep that in mind. You don't want to be long today on these names below those levels I just mentioned. Be careful. It's a Friday. Anything can happen. I mean, for example, like I said, look at this YM chart. This is the definition of an A plus short setup, right? Beautiful bear flag right back into supply. It doesn't get any better, okay? Like I said, I'm going to let Hannah go over her stuff. I will see you guys here in a little bit here on live. If I'm waiting for these hourlies to close, so we got about 12 minutes here, and I will signal an entry before the market opens, right? These are setups that you have to take no matter what time it is. So if we get the entry, I will take it. This 4 hour flips back red here, back below 25,250. We're going lower. It's inevitable, okay? So we got beautiful setups today. We just got to be patient, wait for them to play out. Keep an eye on that gold, NQ, ES, RTY, YM, and those individual names. Hannah, I'll let you go ahead and do your thing. Oh, whoops. Should be good.
Perfect.
There we go.
So, pretty much the same watch that Val has. I'm gonna go over SPY and QQQ, and then I have some individuals. I don't really love SPY right here, smack dab in the middle of the zone. As you can see, we've kind of just been chopping around. We made that new high, made a new high, and then every time we pushed that high, we just had a nice failure. So if for some reason off the open we do get, some push back into these highs, I'm gonna look for weakness here. But if we just fade right off the open, I don't know that I will try to chase that move, but I am gonna be watching the structure points. So the 669, 667. But I just don't have a lot of faith in us. But I will say this, if we push off the open and create a new high here and then fail the 673 again, then I'll go ahead and take an entry on shorts. But again, it's not as clear as Q's on making those new highs, respecting the structure points. So I just don't see us continuing to create that, new high, and then respecting the structure. So the only thing that would change my mind on that is if we, for some reason, market gets strong intraday, all of a sudden we break through the 674 all-time highs, and then we push back and holds, then okay, then we've created a new bullish structure point. But as of right now, every time we've ticked into the 673, 674, then we've just failed. I mean, all week here, you can see that. So Again, opening right in the middle of this range, you don't want to try to just guess which direction she's going to push first. But again, just looking for those weakness points if that happens. But on QQQ, it's a little bit cleaner, right? Like we've got this higher high, higher low. So if we push and create a new high off the 613, again, come back, respect the structure point like 612. That would be a nice entry point there. If we lose the 610, which would be the bottom of this trend line, and then obviously previous all-time highs, then it could get interesting back into yesterday's lows around 607.50. Below 607.50, obviously next level is 603. So you have a lot more to work with on QQQ. But I will say that it's stronger than SPY in regards to like creating those higher highs, higher lows. So again, looking for a push into a new high at 613, or if we fail that, and when we fail to 610, then I'll be looking for a hold of yesterday's lows. But I just like the ATR a lot better here as in regards to like if you get an entry, again below the 607.50, you've got like a $4 move here. If you get this push into highs, obviously that's the squeeze mark. So again, I just like QQQ a lot better. I probably won't trade SPY unless we can get that break. Like I said, over the 674. It doesn't look likely just based on pre-market action, but just be ready in either scenario there. Nvidia, I like this 191, obviously previous highs here. We've already tapped it once. So if we do just fade right off the open, I will be looking for either a wick and then reclaim, or again, that 189, 190. But I do just like the 191 level. Let's just say we kind of chop around and then we come down and get that test. Depending on what time of the day it is, you could take next week contracts just to be safe. But I like this 191. It's also the 382 retracement on the slash push. So again, just a lot of confluence there. We've got 1, 2, 3 areas where, or reasons I should say, to have interest at that 191 level. So that'll be on watch. Let's see here. AMD, same thing. I have this 227, same confluence, 227, 228, really. She's kind of starting to die down as far as momentum the last day, well, I should say like the last session. So either one of these scenarios, if she can come back and reclaim this 235, 236, then there's room back to this 240, and then obviously highs at 244. But if she chops around, comes down, and then she holds this 227, 228, then I do like that. If 227, if she loses 227, I won't be interested until back until this like 218, 220-ish area. So again, there's just a lot. It's the ATR is just amazing now that she's broke over this 200 point. So there's just a lot of I should say reward that could be at any of these levels. So just keep on watch these retracement levels from this last push. But that's what I'll be watching there. If I get an entry, I will signal. I'm going to be looking for that again, like just kind of fade off the open, hold, and then we can reclaim back into the structure 234, 235 at least. So that's what I'm watching on AMD. AVGO, I do like, oh, she's kind of losing it. If she can reclaim this 348, I like it back to 353. Depends, I think, on what Q's wants to do. But as you can see here, we've got 1, 2, 3 areas where she's failed, but she's continued to push and make these higher lows. So if we can reclaim this and hold this 348, I will try to catch some entry into this 350 and 353. So that could be on watch. I like trading AVGO on Fridays though, because the contracts obviously move a lot better on Fridays than like on a Monday or Tuesday. So that'll be on side watch there. Apple is actually kind of weak in comparison to the market. I want to see if we lose this 253. I do think we'll see that 251 and then 250 mark. Apple just, as like the last few weeks, really just been consolidating, chopping around, which Apple likes to do. Like she'll make a big move and then just kind of consolidate it for weeks on end, and then we'll get a move. So obviously we didn't get that 260 break into new highs, fading that 257 yesterday. So again, I think that SPY and Q sells off the open, especially we'll lose this 253. I might take it down into at least 251, 250. If Apple comes down to this 248, I think on the weekly, on the daily, I do like this 248 area. If we can come back and then obviously consolidate, get a hold, I think we're going to push back into this 253 at least. So it's obviously not going to happen in one day unless Apple gets news. Like I said, she'll just consolidate, but you could get a nice little $2 and another $2 move here. So again, on a Friday, that could be pretty nice if we don't see anything else or get an entry on anything else. Meta, I'm watching this 237, 230, yeah, 237.50. You can see here 1, 2, 3 areas. If she breaks and holds this 230, let's just say 238 to be safe. There's a nice risk to reward back to like 245, 246. So obviously Meta yesterday was pretty strong. I just want to kind of see some continuation with that break. As long as she's above 730 though, I wouldn't be trying to short Meta. If she loses the 730, obviously it could be back into that lower 720, 721 area. But again, I like this 238 break. So just kind of keeping that on watch. There's a nice Meta, once she gets going, as you know, she can move pretty nice. And it's Friday. So again, those contracts, probably if we get the 738 break, you can take the 745s. And those would be really nice on a Friday. So I'm gonna keep that on watch. And then Amazon. Oh, Amazon was moving like crazy yesterday. I don't know if it was news or Prime Day or what. But really nice break of this 240 or sorry, 225. So as long as she's holding this 225, I'm going to be looking for a push back into this 228 area, 229. My main watch is this 229 break, because if she can reclaim this 229 break, obviously there's room back to 231, 232, and then 234. So I just really like that continuation if we can get it. It is Amazon though. So again, depending on what happens off the open, if it's later on in the day, I'm not going to try to catch this on 0 DTEs. I will take next week contracts just to be safe and hold for the entire move, because she likes to just kind of wick us out, shop around. So if it doesn't happen within like, I would say like the first 2-3 hours, I'm not taking 0 DTEs on this. I'll just take next week contracts. But I do like the strength above this 225, and then obviously holding the structure at 226.30 pre-market. Just look for that break at 228, 229, and then 229, you're golden. You could take like the 230s for next week. And just kind of catch for that move. So yeah, that's what I'm watching. I think we'll have a lot of opportunity this Friday. I like to say that every Friday. You guys just be safe. Don't try to catch everything in the first 10, 15 minutes, even the first hour. Like, just be patient. But there's a lot of setups here. SPY, QQQ, following over futures. There's a lot of individuals that have nice setups gearing up. So just be patient. I know we're going to catch something today. And yeah, I'll hand it back to Fel and see if he wants to go over any stickers you guys have. He might have stepped away. Let me check the chat. So you still there? All right. Looks like he
Yeah, I'm here.
went to go
My
get
bad.
breakfast or something. I'm gonna do the same. What time is it? Oh, it's only
No, I'm here. I was
8 o'clock.
getting a turbo breakfast. My bad.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't know. I couldn't see the chat. I didn't know if there's any tickers you want to go over. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, I got like 2 or 3 minutes. If you guys want to post tickers, I'll check them out real quick for you guys. Let me see. What do we got? Coin? Sure. I think I went over coin already, but essentially what I'm watching today is just a break of these highs, right? Watching for that break and hold above 392 here. That should get us back into that 400 plus. I'll go over 2 more with you guys, and then I'll go ahead and rock out. What have you guys got? SPY, we already covered SPY. Reddit, sure. This looks interesting. We just held this demand here, got a little gap fill. I mean, this looks like it could go today. I would say long as it's above this 212, this is a chart worthy of being long on. That's what I would say. Not much else to say about that. IWM already discussed. We'll go over VIX, and I'll go ahead and call it. VIX still looks good, right? Obviously, we just got the consolidation. A trade like VIX, man, you just hang on tight, I mean, if we lose this structure here, obviously I'll stop. But we're starting to see that build here in terms of volatility. The day the market sees that downside, we'll get back up here into this 20 mark. Pretty much no problem, right? That's history repeating itself. That's just what VIX does. It's naturally designed to go down. There's multiple ways to make money on VIX, being obviously volatility entering the market going down. So we're safe here, right? This is also a great long-term hedge, right? So we're safe here. Everything looks good. And all right, we'll do one more. PayPal, love this chart. At any point in time, we get a pull back into 72.70. This is where we'll go ahead and put on that swing position. But right now, we're kind of up and we're stuck. But it's all good. And yeah, man, that's what Hannah's watching. That's what I'm watching. Appreciate everybody for tuning in this morning. I'll see majority of you guys here live trading here in about 15 minutes. And yeah, man, let's have a great Friday. Let's close out the week strong and go into the weekend on a good note. All right. Catch you guys here in a little bit. Hannah, thank you again. And yeah, man, manifest a bright green day for everyone. You guys have a great rest of your day. Peace, everybody.